Good morning. Today, the Northeastern United States is digging out from a historic and potentially record-breaking winter storm that brought feet of snow, paralyzed cities, and prompted emergency responses on an unprecedented scale. Weather systems don't get much stronger or more disruptive than this, and the impacts are far-reaching, from coast to inland communities. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for continuing coverage as conditions evolve and communities begin to recover. This storm wasn't just another blast of cold air and snow. Meteorologists classified it as a powerful bomb cyclone, a rapidly intensifying winter system that combined extremely low pressure with fierce winds and heavy precipitation. What began as a coastal storm strengthened dramatically as it moved northward, drawing energy from the Atlantic and creating conditions very few regions in the southeast and northeast regularly experience. When a storm grows this quickly and packs this much punch, the result is more than inconvenience. It becomes a community-wide emergency. In some areas, reports indicate snow depths reaching as much as 3 feet, with drifting and wind-blown accumulations in open spaces in rural areas. Urban centers that rarely see heavy snow found themselves buried almost as deeply, with plows and salt trucks struggling against the clock to open and maintain roads. This was not a slow, gentle snowfall. It was a storm that demanded attention the moment the first flakes began to fall. New York City, one of the largest and most trafficked urban regions in the country, essentially shut down as the storm hit its peak intensity. Traffic was halted on major thoroughfares as visibility dropped to near zero, and city officials urged residents to stay home, avoid travel, and reserve emergency lanes for first responders. When one of the most prepared and resourceful cities in the U.S. effectively closed itself off due to weather, it sends a clear signal about the severity of conditions. Elsewhere across the Northeast, from New Jersey to Connecticut, Massachusetts to Rhode Island and beyond, the pattern was the same: relentless snow, bitter winds, and communities scrambling to respond. Schools and businesses shuttered, public transportation was suspended or severely curtailed, and flights were canceled by the thousands as airports struggled to keep runways clear. For many residents, this storm felt like an extended winter strike, testing patience, endurance, and preparedness in real time. For emergency officials, this storm was a logistical challenge. Snow removal equipment was deployed en masse, but even the best plows and salt spreaders can be outpaced by a storm of this magnitude. Crews worked around the clock, focusing first on major arteries and emergency routes, while secondary roads took longer to clear. In some rural areas, residents reported being snowbound for hours, even days, as drifting and unplowed surfaces made travel impossible. One of the defining aspects of this system was not just the snow totals, but the blizzard conditions, intense winds that combined with heavy precipitation to create whiteout scenarios. Even if you could see only a few feet in front of you, traveling could quickly become life-threatening. High winds also posed hazards on bridges and elevated roadways, prompting closures and travel advisories across multiple states. Share your thoughts in the comments. Was this the worst winter storm you've experienced? Utility companies braced for potential damage from this storm as well. Heavy, wet snow clinging to power lines and tree limbs posed a serious risk for outages. When wind-blown snow and ice combine, the added weight can bring down lines or cause branches to snap, leaving neighborhoods in the dark and complicating recovery efforts. In some isolated areas, there were indeed reports of outages as crews worked to restore power amidst ongoing snowfall. Cold temperatures accompanied the storm, creating dangerous wind chill values that made exposure a real risk for anyone outdoors. Hypothermia and frostbite were not distant possibilities. They were immediate threats for anyone caught outside unprepared. Emergency shelters opened in several cities to provide warmth and refuge for those without adequate heating or who were displaced by storm conditions. This storm also highlighted the ongoing conversation about how extreme weather events are evolving. While heavy snowfalls are part of winter patterns, the intensity, scale, and impact of this bomb cyclone caught the attention of meteorologists and emergency managers alike. Whether it is a one-off anomaly or part of broader climate variability, the reality for communities is the same. Prepare for strong storms and respond with urgency when they arrive. Snowdrifts in excess of 3 feet can transform landscapes almost overnight. Sidewalks disappear. Cars vanish beneath blankets of white. People who had planned errands, travel, or even work routines found themselves reevaluating their days as the storm intensified. The magnitude of this snowfall demanded not just patience, but adaptation. In urban areas, the subway systems, the lifeblood of daily commute, faced inevitable slowdowns and partial closures as snow and ice infiltrated tracks and stations. Surface transit in cities like Boston and Philadelphia saw delays and suspensions, leaving commuters stranded and schedules in disarray. For those dependent on public transportation, the storm was more than a disruption. It was a shutdown of daily life. In suburban and rural settings, the impact showed a different face. Roads became impassable, mail delivery was paused, and plow-hungry drifts forced families to dig out not just driveways, but entire property perimeters. Schools announced cancellations and extended closures, recognizing that sending buses out or expecting students to brave hazardous conditions would be irresponsible. The economics of a storm of this scale are significant too. Lost work hours, closed businesses, disrupted supply chains all contribute to an immediate financial cost that communities will tally in the weeks to come. Hospitality and retail sectors, already under pressure this winter, faced revenue losses as foot traffic evaporated and consumers stayed home. Amid the undeniable disruption, there were also stories of resilience. Neighbors helping neighbors, emergency responders braving the storm to reach stranded motorists, and community centers offering warmth and refuge are all parts of the narrative that emerge when conditions are most challenging. Meteorologists pointed out that storms like this are fueled by a combination of cold air masses colliding with moist, warm systems from the ocean, conditions that create powerful intensification. What makes a bomb cyclone particularly destructive is its rapid drop in atmospheric pressure, which drives wind speeds upward and makes the system more dynamic. The result is a winter event that doesn't just bring heavy snow, but wind and cold that turn everyday life on its head. Looking ahead, forecasters expect the storm to gradually move out of the region, leaving behind deep snow, cold air, and a long recovery process. Temperatures remain low, meaning that snowmelt will be slow, and roads and walkways will remain treacherous for days or even weeks. Emergency management officials urge residents to continue monitoring forecasts, check on vulnerable neighbors, and allow crews to do their work without unnecessary interference. Like this video if you've ever had to shovel out after a storm like this, and if you haven't yet, you might be about to. The long view of this storm teaches us about preparation and adaptability. Strong communication from local officials, clear emergency plans, and community cooperation make all the difference when a storm of this size strikes. It's not merely about surviving the snowfall itself, but navigating the days that follow when infrastructure catches up with nature's mark. In conclusion tonight, the Northeast blizzard was more than a weather event. It was a disruption of normal life, a test for emergency systems, and a reminder that powerful winter storms can bring cities and regions to a standstill. Yet even in the whiteout, we see resilience, from the plow drivers fighting the drifts to the communities banding together in challenging conditions. This storm will be remembered not just for the feet of snow it dropped, but for how it demonstrated the strength, vulnerability, and spirit of the communities it touched. Thank you for watching. Share your storm stories in the comments, and stay warm and safe as we continue following this developing situation.